Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Brianne Callanan here. I am so excited to have Mo, one of the Wildtide Wellness Metabolic Reset members, joining us live to share his story on how he released over 30 pounds on the Metabolic Reset Program. So if you are new to my videos, my name is Dr. Brianne Callanan. I am the creator of the Wildtide Wellness and creator of the Metabolic Reset Program, where we help individuals lose 20 to 40 pounds in 6 weeks without exercise and without the need for long-term supplementation. So there is Mo.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on here and sharing a little bit about your journey with the Metabolic Reset. I know you're super busy, so I appreciate your time
Thanks for having
100%.
me. Thanks for having me. That's the least I could do. I appreciate it.
So why don't we start off by sharing a little bit about where you are before you started your journey on the reset?
So where I was actually, I consider it, there was two phases. A few years ago, I considered myself to be probably in the best shape of my life. I was in my early 40s. Then I'm 46 right now. And I was doing a Paleolithic diet, and I was exercising on a regular basis. And then 2 years ago, I actually felt that I gained a little bit of weight around the holidays, and I was doing the regular workouts and the regular exercise regimen and diet regimen that I was doing, but not being able to lose the weight. It was a bit of a stressful time. There were a few things going on, and I think it was just very difficult for me to lose the weight. And slowly, it crept on. And I realized that there was over 20 pounds that just came out of nowhere, and I just couldn't shake it off at all. So that's basically where I was, going from being really fit to, walking around not knowing exactly what to do with all this extra weight and not having a solution, where before I thought I had a solution to it. So that's where I was before I joined that Metabolic Reset. And remember talking about it and not really being able to do something. And I knew that there was a cortisol component and an insulin resistant component to it, but it was really, how do I tackle this?
And you're in the health space too, so you are like well familiar about different programs, and you've tried different things. And in the Metabolic Reset, we actually recommend not exercising, which seems counterintuitive,
Yeah.
just for those reasons, for no cortisol. So was it hard for you, or was it a surprise to you that you were able to drop weight without exercising?
So it was a surprise to me when the weight started coming off. I was a little bit hesitant to actually not work out, just because my fear of weight gain has always been kind of linked to me not working out, or working out, or how much working out and exercise and activity I'm having. So I was very skeptical that my body would be able to actually go through those many weeks without working out and getting the results. And I was also fearful of losing muscle mass. But here's my experience with that is I try to incorporate workouts during the losing phase. And every time I'd weigh myself in the morning, I would notice that there was an increase in body weight, or I would not lose any weight at all. And it wasn't till I kind of gave into it, probably the third week of the losing phase, that I decided, you know what, I'm not going to go back and do this from the beginning. I might as well just take full advantage and do it to the books and as it's intended to be done. And I stopped working out completely. There were a couple of times, just because of activities and commitments, that I had to play tennis. And I was also supplementing with amino acids when I was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was only then that the weight started coming off on a regular basis. Daily, there was a decrease in body weight on the scale. So I was really surprised, but it makes total sense. You're stressing your body when you're exercising. You're stressing your adrenals, and that cortisol weight is probably the most difficult weight to get rid of. So when I was just giving my body the chance to recover, it was responding.
And now that so you went through the losing, cut the exercise back, you went into maintenance, have you noticed a difference now in your maintenance or long-term plan with your ability to recover better with exercise, or any changes in?
Absolutely. So one thing that I've taken away from the whole experience is that I don't need to work out as much because
Mm-hmm.
I'm done, of course, with my maintenance phase at this point. But while I was also in it, I realized there's a lot of things that I'm incorporating now that I can actually carry forward, and it just becomes a way of life. And I think this is probably one of the areas that a lot of people kind of make the mistake into thinking that you can do all of this and go back and eat anything that you want, and your insulin is not going to be touched, and you're going to be resilient. But that's not the case. It really kind of teaches you how you should be eating moving forward. These insulin spikes are something that we can be exposed to by every single thing that we ingest. Right. So you just want to be mindful of that. And not that I'm not enjoying life or not enjoying food at this point. I actually am, but it's just the way the body responds to it now is entirely different. And you know what? I just feel that it's given me a platform to move forward with. My mistake in the past that I also did intermittent fasting a lot. And I have experimented with keto and this and that. And I think that was also one of the biggest mistakes that I had done. My intermittent fasting was a little bit too extreme. So
Mm-hmm.
that threw me off and threw my metabolism off. And I actually crave my lunches right now. And I look forward to having my lunches. And I look forward to having my 2 meals. And I used to go 1 meal a day. And that was extremely bad. So having this structure is really, really important, and I feel that I can definitely benefit from it moving forward.
And do you feel that the way you were cooking and the food choices were, like, it opened up the opportunities enough for you to cook, and these are ways and tools that you can utilize long term?
Oh, absolutely. And I do incorporate that right now. I still weigh my food. I do increase the amount of ounces of protein that I can take, and I don't seem to be responding negatively to that at all. But I have adopted mainly, cooking with less fats. And I've always incorporated healthy fats, but there's also, there's always too much of something, and I think that
Mm-hmm.
that was an issue. And there was a point where my body wasn't really utilizing the fat storage. In fact, I was really just kind of utilizing the fats from my food. And I did an additional test that kind of showed that I was doing with the GI map test. So it kind of really presented that my fats, the fats that I'm utilizing are really just from food. So whatever fat I have accumulated is just staying there. Plus, add to that the insulin resistant component. That means you're adding fat upon what already you have. So,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely managed to learn a lot from the cooking techniques and realize that you can actually create really, really delicious food. One of the things that I never held back on was the free veggies that I could have. So I never
Mm-hmm.
left a meal feeling hungry, and that was a big takeaway for me. One of my favorite things to do was saute mushrooms with a little bit of mushroom broth. And that was something that I would add to every single salad, or it would be a side. And I just get my organic mushrooms every day and saute them. And